I'm Drake Bassett, CEO of Palmer Home for Children. I think the fun job of sharing the story and specifically the stories of lives that are being changed. So that's what I do. I mean, there literally are hundreds of stories, and going back in Palmer Home's history, there are just thousands of stories. And I think the stories that touch me the most are the children that I've had a chance to get to know. I've had a chance to, of course, read their file, which sounds sort of informal, but when you move from the paper to the face and you see the child and their experience, and you see how their life is now here at Palmer Home, but you're aware of where they came from and some of the challenges that they've had to overcome, to me, those are the stories that mean the most. And there are specific children with specific stories that mean a lot to me, but all of us have had the privilege of being a part of that. I think there are, specific stories that come to mind. Being the father of 4 children, I have a son and I have 3 daughters, and I've enjoyed all of my children, of course, and even now have a granddaughter. And so I think you have a special appreciation for the joys and all of the soft moments of little girls growing up. And I think about the innocence, and I think about the safety of the girls that have been, of course, in our family. And when I think of one particular story of a young girl who came to us who unfortunately experienced the loss of innocence at far too early an age, that story drives me to work a little harder, to reach a little further, to engage people in helping us rescue children who are at risk like that. It excites me when I think about the work that Palmer Home does, because we've had children come to us who, for different reasons, pretty much reasons that are out of their control, have been behind the curve when it comes to things like education. And if you want to think about a driver's license for life, being able to read, being able to do math, being able to do the basic things that will allow you to function and perform in society and lead a great life, well, when those children come to us and they're behind the curve, I'm excited about a couple of young men who've been able to come here and catch up on their reading, learn how to grasp information, learn how to put things together in their mind, and they are on the verge of leading great lives. And so I'm really proud of the work that the team's done here in changing their story. I mean, the privilege of being in my role is that I get the opportunity to meet children who grew up at Palmer Home, who've gone on and already begun, living those productive lives, and they will come and visit. And I look forward to meeting them because they inform me of the experiences that they had. And it's really exciting to hear how they came here, which may have been probably in some ways a dark day. But over the years, building their relationships with people here, building networks of people who support, who love them, who care for them, who coach them, who teach them, who give them the skills that they need for life. And then to hear that they've gone on to become business people, they've gone on to become nurses, they've gone on to be mothers and fathers and build families of their own. Those kind of stories tell me that the work that we're doing today is going to pay off, maybe not tomorrow, but it's going to pay off 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now. And not only for themselves, but for their families. They're going to be able to carry those same values that they learned at Palmer Home into the lives of their own children and their grandchildren. And being 120 years old, we've seen all of that. So, for me personally, I had the privilege of a 20-year corporate career. I loved it. I loved the people. But there does reach a point in everybody's life where you ask yourself, can I do more? Is there something I can do that would mean more to me personally and maybe have an impact in the lives of others? And it just turned out that Palmer Home was in the process of searching for a new leader. And for me, I was searching for the right opportunity. And I did want to come back to this region. I grew up in a little town that's not a little town anymore, but Cordova, Tennessee. These are my people. This is my part of the country, and I believed that if I could get close enough to it, that we could work with the giving spirit of Mississippi, the giving spirit of this region, and we could make a difference. I also wanted to be in a place where I could see the faces of the people that we're impacting. And at Palmer Home, you get to see the faces, you get to know the names, you get to know these children. Yeah. Okay, so the exciting part about what we're doing is I think Palmer Home, which has been here for 120 years, the mission hasn't changed at all. The mission is the same as it was in 1895 when Palmer Home was originally chartered. What has changed is the world around us, and those needs are great. So children are at great risk in a variety of areas that you'll hear about today from an emotional standpoint, a physical standpoint. And our focus is on two things: rescuing children and restoring the lives of those children. So that's our vision. It's really simple. It hasn't changed since 1895, but what has changed are the needs of children, which is why we need you all the more today. And we need people to get behind this, because we want to do everything we can to reach out to that child in need and make it possible for them to overcome those things. So we're simple. We're rescuing children and we're restoring those lives. And it's a great privilege, and we're honored by the commitment that the people of Mississippi, the trust that the people of Mississippi have put into this organization. We want to honor that trust by continuing to reach as many children that need us. You know, part of the work is really exciting when you meet people in the community who care about Palmer Home. And one of the reasons that, especially here in Columbus and also in Hernando where we have campuses, you have people who've grown up with children that they went to school with that came from Palmer Home. And the lessons that they learned by being around children who are experiencing the world of Palmer Home, it caused them to appreciate, it caused them to recognize that, you know what, we do need to stop sometimes and help those who are in need. We do need to give of our resources to help others in need. And I like to think that Palmer Home, as much as the state of Mississippi has given to Palmer Home, hopefully Palmer Home has given something back in terms of its spirit, in terms of what it's done for children. And of course, many people have gone through the halls, the homes of Palmer Home, and gone on to lead very productive lives and have contributed to the state. Across the country, where we intervene with children whose lives are at risk, we change the course of their direction. All the leading categories of things like teen suicide, teen depression, all of the various teen crimes, all of those statistics are driven by children who do not have a stable family environment. Palmer Home is offering that stable family environment to these children. So in the state of Mississippi, we're trying to do our part. We're trying to help the larger community in terms of caring for children so that we can shape those futures.